Yeah, I found the GitHub. That's where it has those, like, designed for good programmers, and they're just taking shots at other languages. Pretty funny. Game programmers are not afraid of pointers and manual memory management. Oh man, somebody's an elitist. See, especially when good programmers tend to produce relatively few errors. Yes, yes, of course. That's pretty damn funny, actually. Yeah, pretty much everywhere I've worked that uses C++ has its own sort of STL system or whatever that, does all the string crap for you, so you don't have to do a whole bunch of random ridiculous BS. But every string thing is different. Oh, come on, give me the documentation for real. Don't give me the crap documentation, give me the C++ documentation. Thank you very much. There's it. Index of... Is it find? Alright, searches for the substring and returns the index. Alright. So substring from start position to count characters. Is it right? String to the right of the specified location, counting back from the end. Counting back from the... God damn. Everybody's got different terminology for all their string crap. Why not just call them arrays and provide a size? Yeah. That's kind of one of the... It's definitely there are decisions. Alright, it's right chop. God, how stupid is this? Alright, and then we want to find the location of the first... We want to find the location of the last slash and get the left of that. Is there find last? Find last char. Searches the string for the last occurrence of a character. You see, this is what I don't like. They have a find, but they don't have a find last. They have a find last char. It's like, come on, you guys, be consistent. You got something like that. And of course, the find last char doesn't take, it doesn't look like this. It's this. It has like, it returns a boolean and takes a reference. And it's like, give me a fucking break here, guys. How inconsistent is this? I guess it's left, the leftmost given number of characters, the leftmost characters from the string chopping, the given number of characters from the end. What the hell does the leftmost given number of characters even mean? So I guess it's the count, so it's slash index minus 1. What a bunch of garbage. Yeah, I think one of the funniest things is, like, I spent the majority of probably my professional programming experience writing code in Java for games, and kind of second language would be C++. And I think Java gets a big bad rap and the main reason for that is because of Java programmers. They're all a bunch of idiots. Because they like to wrap everything behind 200 million interfaces. Like, have you seen those pictures of like call stacks of like somebody's web server that goes from like here's where it actually grabbed the bytes off the TCP stream and here's where it called the database, and it's like literally like 200 functions deep? And you kind of like, how did this happen? Illegal call to non-static member function. And it's because, like, just people, I don't know. People get super elitist about programming languages and how they're supposed to do stuff. And there's so many meetings where people just get pissed off about capitalization. But that garbage collection, though. Well, each thing has its own place, right? The Java stuff there, I think, is really good for like server work and stuff like that, where that garbage collection really doesn't matter. And in fact, I believe it's preferable. The biggest issue with Java and servers, I think, is the lack of fibers for threading. Because Java doesn't have goto in it, you can't, like, one of the problems with servers is you're usually blocking on external calls to stuff. Like, you might have like a C++ server that's actually running a game simulation. You might have a Java server or a Python server or something else that's kind of babysitting it. Yeah, somebody pulled out like a whole... I had one time a guy actually showed up. He rolled into a meeting and he had printed out like best practice stuff on paper, and he was like trying to use it as like a source to like tell people to do stuff, and I was just like, put that shit away, dude. Like, nobody gives a damn what the internet thinks about coding standards. Like, we care about what we care about. Stop using this like appeal to authority crap. Alright, the folder for the level is /game blah blah prototype /visual. It looks like there's a space on the start. So it looks like our right chop is incorrect. Now, I'm gonna pull up the documentation for right chop real quick. Right chop, the string to the right of the specified location, counting forward from the left. Okay, so it literally says the string to the right of the specified location. Now, I told it index, like 5, and it returned everything including 5. So the documentation is just lying. Yeah, so the big part about fibers there that's really important for servers is because when you're blocking on an external system, like a call to the database or something after you've done something, or a call to an external web commerce thing, you have to have something there that either saves the state of the call or something that's just literally waiting there, a thread that's blocked. You need a line of execution for that call in order to actually do something. You signed a stream, finish that. It's best practice to finish the day with a half-finished piece of work. Yeah. Is that something I said? Because that's totally something that I would say. Shit. I mean, I guess if you're actually... No, you didn't say that. Finish the day with a half-finished piece of work. Well, I mean, there's some arguments there. Like, if you finish your piece of work and then check it in, like right before leaving, you might cause a whole bunch of issues on your project because you didn't actually, like, you rushed it complete. It's better to submit your code before lunch or something like that. Like right after lunch, so you can fix it if something breaks the build and screws everyone else up later. Alright, so we got prototype / visual. Let's double check that our levels actually look like that. Prototype. Yeah, visuals. Okay, so we need to not subtract 1. So this is another thing right here, which this left in the documentation, the left function says the leftmost given number of characters, so it doesn't even tell me what the hell it's even doing. God, it's so stupid. There are arguments to do that. Any best practice for one guy is not best practice for another. Yeah. Yeah, best practice in different situations, right? Like, there's a reason why a lot of the Microsoft, notation looks the way it does. And it's because they're dealing with, cross types and crazy shit like that, where they have to really be aware of all the different, pieces of hardware that they're supporting. So, normal programmers aren't going to, do, Hungarian notation because it's just such a pain in the ass. Yeah, I think my biggest pet peeve in programming is people who are smart programmers. Who are like, you know what, I could remove 2 lines here on my screen by using a ternary operator, or, you know what, I want to learn how to use lambdas, so I'm going to use, today I'm going to write everything using lambdas, because that's what I'm going to do. And all of a sudden they can't debug their code, and you can't step through anything, and everything's all garbage, unreadable crap. And they're like, well, I can read it. And you're just like, dude, you're not the only person on the team. You need to not code like a freaking idiot. Okay, so we got the right folder name now, so we can clean up our code. Alright, so the outer name is Waterfall and Cave. So we want to get asset folder for current level. I kind of want a static f string get name for current level. It's going to be the outer name. Yeah, I can always talk shit about people. It's funny. Alright, so we just want get folder for asset, and we're just gonna return the folder. So we just need the level. So just return that. Yeah, I guess whenever I see people like writing code to make it smaller on screen, that's kind of one of the things that I'm always just like, well, just buy a bigger monitor. Alright, so we got the asset for the level. You know, people are like, oh, 80 character limit width. I'm like, just buy a bigger monitor, dude. If that's literally your problem, like you need to stop being such a pleb and, you know, shell out some damn money for some hardware. It's like, oh, but I like to code on my laptop that's got this tiny screen, and I'm just like, well, you can you know, go play in your coffee shop somewhere else. I really don't give a shit about you. Alright, so get name for current level. We're just gonna say undefined. Get asset folder for current level. So what do we want for this? Like, this is gonna return the folder of the level. Do we want, like, I think I should be explicit on this one and be like, get not name for current level, but like, this is get asset folder for current level. Yeah, I guess that is explicit enough. So what we want to do is have this guy, let's do fstring folder equals this, and we're going to get the name of the current level, and we'll just concat them. And yeah, we could do it faster, but I really don't care. This is editor only code. So let's see, we're going to have the level name. It should be like level name underscore data. And that should just be it for the actual folder name. So I think that should work. And game was in there. Yeah, the other thing that's real interesting is, you know, what's your opinion on code reviews? Because at Amazon, they do a whole bunch of code reviews, and it's a big part of the culture, and that makes a lot of sense when you're working on, you know, when you're working on like a website or something. It's a big site that's still running, it's making money. It's very important to not screw up the site. And the code review stuff also removes a lot of blame, because it's like, you know, the whole team got together and approved this change list. So if it goes out there and takes down, you know, the commerce site and loses the company $1 million, it's not just like one dude that you just point in the boardroom and just like, yeah, fired that guy. He's, you know, a junior engineer and he just cost us $1 million. You know, get him the hell out of here. You know, basically like you'd point to the team and be like, that team together wasn't able to catch the problem. You can work with the whole team and, you know, not like cause personnel issues. Get name for current level. Oh, it doesn't have to take something. So code reviews are like a big deal there, but on my team, when I was at Amazon, we're working on the game servers. Amazon's like all online code reviews, and that's really just a real big thing for audit trails and ticketing and everything. And code reviews, for my team, I always did over-the-shoulder code reviews, and it wasn't like a review in that it wasn't like, you know, the person was there to defend it. Is like the person was there to show it off. So it's like at the end of the week, it was kind of a celebration. You'd go like, you know, what you do is you'd start off with like, I just made this new tool for our website. You'd show, you know, the tool working. You'd be like, here's the crash reporter, and you'd be able to click on it and go into a crash, and see like the call stack and all this, and you're like, this is awesome, this is really going to help. Now let me show you how it works. And then the person goes through and explains how the code functions and everything like that. And if somebody goes and like says, oh, you should change this variable name, we just like turn to that guy and tell him to shut the hell up, because it's not helpful. It would be more of like somebody saying like, oh, I think that might cause a deadlock over there or something. And the person's like, oh, okay, that we'll see if that happens. And that worked out real well for engineers that you trust. But, it doesn't work if your team has people who are kind of toxic. Like, if you have, like, a team where people don't really trust each other, you can't do that sort of review. Because then people just get all pissed off, and it just creates conflict. Alright, so the asset folder name is game test levels visuals, waterfall and cave _ data. Excellent. Alright, let's hook up our stuff then. Save texture asset. Get asset folder for current level. Root. I want to get the name of the asset that we are. Well, I guess I need get name for asset as a function. That's so stupid. Get name for actor. Let me just look it up real quick. Let me get the name of the actor at runtime. Drag that actor and type string in the search bar. Get to string object node, which gives you the name of the actor. So there's a toString node, converts a U object. That's so stupid. I just want a simple thing. So let's just make a get name for U object, because reasons. Yeah, I never liked pair programming. That was just... So we never did it, ever. So get the hell out of my personal space. I guess one of the big things in college, when we had one professor who just, I mean, he basically just laid it out there for us. He's like, if you can't trust the other people on your team completely, you need to find another team. Because as soon as like the links of trust and like goodwill on programming projects break down, like stuff gets toxic real fast, and everything just goes to hell. And it's just like, I think that's one of the biggest problems with programming teams usually is the worst thing that can happen is a manager not standing up and calling out somebody's BS. Just being like, if somebody is not doing their job and like causing problems, the manager needs to just make sure that they don't institute policies that punish everybody else, and just stop treating people like kindergartners, and just be like, you need to stop breaking your stuff, and not make it a personal attack or just like you're an idiot and you're a hateful stupid person. Just being like, stop breaking the project. This doesn't have to be an emotional conversation. This is just like, you're breaking the project. Stop breaking the project. End of conversation. Yeah, well, those are totally different. Like, if you're doing like a huge design review and coming up with some crazy stuff, like that is totally different than just day to day working on stuff. All right, so what we need to do here for this name is we want to get the name of our object. I mean, why can't I just pass in self here? Why is that not default? Well, it's kind of silly. So we have to append. Let's see, static height map. It's just kind of ugly. It's a lot of stuff to do in order to like save out a freaking texture. Well, let's see if it works. What's this getting pissed about? Cannot find a function save texture asset in Dashkin object utils. Well, yeah, that's because it's not there. It's in the other place. That's one of those fights that, like, a 20-year-old project, and then you work on it, it gets all to hell, and you're like, okay, we're not going to do any of that all over again. And then 20 years later, you've made all the same mistakes. I think just a lot of it is, there's going to be rewrites of stuff. Just go with it. Nothing's ever going to be perfect. Everything's going to change. So just be okay with change. But if it was literally like we had no idea what the hell we were doing last time and it became ridiculous, then that's probably a little bit different. Alright, so we'll get our name, we're going to pin static height map to it, we're going to save that and do all that stuff. So we're going to create our height map, and as we set this texture, it will be saved on our object as our height map texture itself. So when we call this, it should be built. Waterfall and cave data, undefined static height map. Well, let's see why it was undefined. Get owner. Alright, yeah, so we just need to get... Let's just do self in there. See how it goes. He just wanted to beat deadlines? Yeah, that can do it. Alright, so we got persistent level, underscore, static height map. Persistent level? What the fuck? That didn't give us the name of our... Didn't give us test water. I will continue building my own little world inside of a greater world because I can. So I think it's just, I just want to call get F name on it because get outer is probably the thing that's screwing us up right now. Oh man. There's so many crazy things that happened on some of the projects. Like there was one time where we had basically we had a period of like 4 months where one of the teams was like re-architecting everything for a game engine. And after like 4 months, they had nothing to show for it. This was like an online project or something for like a web game, so you would expect after 4 months to have like something really impressive. Like what they showed off was just garbage. It was really funny. Like they had a whole presentation for like one of the Beer Fridays, and what you could do is you could click on a box and it would change the color of the screen. And they're like, no, like the change of the color of the screen was like we're reloading and like doing all these other things. And you know, the color change is like a big deal. That meant that stuff worked. There's test water static height map. Alright, so it did not save it. So let's see, if we exit, will it prompt us to save? Yes, it will. I'd like to have it save automatically. So let's find out, how do we get it to save automatically for us? And I got put in charge of this team after that. I basically went up to the lead of that team and I was like, you know what? I should be the lead of your team. And he was like, yeah, you're right. Probably the easiest coup ever in like engineering history. I basically just like after work one time I was just like, dude, you know, like I'm really frustrated with your team and all that stuff, so just like give me your team. And he was like, you're right, and then he became a manager. And he gave me the team, and then like I basically just went in there and I just like threw everything out. And we started from scratch, and we had more done in a week than they had in like 4 months. And like some of those guys were super pissed off and just like basically had to go on leave because they were like, you can't just throw everything out. And I was just like, actually I can, and I have, and there's nothing you can do about it. And yeah, that was a fun time. But yeah, we got everything rolling real quick. God, what a crazy thing. That was one of those where I tried to track down why, like, they're making spaceships out of pieces and parts. And I was trying to figure out why they were doing it this way. Because I was like, I fully understand, like, you could make modular systems for ships and then, like, slap them together. But, like, the thing that we had didn't actually use it dynamically in the game. Like, it didn't actually have, like, a dynamic part system in the game for the ships. And I tracked down the reason that they had these modular systems was to, just for the artists to modularly create new ships and art assets much more quickly. And I was like, all right, well, that makes total sense. But they had the parts system all the way forward into the game engine where all the parts had to be actual parts. And I was just like, what in the hell, guys? Like, nowhere has anybody requested this, and you've complicated the entire system. What could have just been an animated picture is this, like, part system that goes, 2,000 lines of code deep into the graphics system. And you're drawing 5 pictures and all this, like, ordering crap gets all screwed up and you've complicated everything. I just threw it out and I was just like, here you go. Just render the damn picture. You can get rid of 2,000 lines of code, just call one. Just call draw, you dumbass. And with stuff like that with that project, that was just insane. It's like, you guys just stop. Pencils down, please. Alright, so we need to figure out how to save this thing. I think it's inside of the character importer. Let's see, do we have a save? Save everything on a per character. So we have this asset registry, prompt for checkout, and save packages to save. Alright, so I think if we go to the editor util, is it object utils that actually saves the texture? No, it's editor utils, because that's what we've done. Alright, so let's throw a bool at the end of this thing. Is it a T-array of F strings? What is that thing? It's a T-array of U packages. It's kind of gross. Get selected packages, all assets. Assets are T-arrays of F asset data. Alright, let's see if this file editor utils, like, oh, why did they take like 4 months and then have a demo? Because they were re-architecting everything. So they needed 4 months. So how do I don't want to do a whole bunch of crazy stuff here. I just want to, I just want to save a single asset. I don't want to have to load up a bunch of package crap. I don't want to do any of this crazy stuff. I just want to save something simple. I'm going to check out packages, export, import, save dirty packages, save level. Save worlds, save map data packages, save assets as. Is there something on a U object that's like save or like notify of change or something? Like we've got this post edit change on a U object. Is there a save on it? I just love this. I just want to save the damn U asset. Like, why is it so difficult? Why is it so difficult to save a frickin' file? Right? Just it boggles the mind why it would be difficult to do that. Yeah, it was also one of those things where the guy had gone up there and done like a graphics presentation. He was like, "Look at all the stuff I can draw to the screen." And I was like, "How much memory are you using?" And he was drawing like, maybe like 300 objects in like a web browser, and he was using 2 gigabytes of RAM. And this was like 2010. I was just like, dude, sit down. It's like we're gonna have to require a 64-bit browser. It was so dumb. Alright, so let's see. I'm just googling like how to save an object in Unreal. Da 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 da. Alright, this is just stupid. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna unstupefy it. We're gonna make a save asset. Oh, Jesus Christ. How insane is this? Because in order to save something, we have to be an F asset data thing, and we have to get selected packages. Let me see. Is this an actual? Let's see. It says assets index package name to string. Find package. So basically we want to get the package name for this thing. Select packages, package to save, packages to save, add package, if packages to save, num, 0, return false. Alright, let's see a prompt for checkout and save actually. returns ePrompt return code. Let's just return true because who cares? Find package, we're gonna need alright, so with editor alright, so save asset, we are going to want to actually find the package for this guy. So I guess it's this. That's what we were doing for like get this f name of the outer object. It's more along the lines of let's get folder for asset. I think is what we want. Is there a pound else? I haven't even used that. You can see I don't really use pound defines that much if I can help it. And we'll just double check that we actually got this thing rolling properly. Alright, call this to prompt to save an asset. Packages to save. I guess we'll save everything inside of a package then. Which could be annoying, like it'll save. God, that's so stupid. Like, do I really need to solve this problem? Well, let's just see how it works. Let's see if it only saves stuff that we need to save, or if it saves everything. Because basically, if everything's in this package here for this thing, then Unreal bakes in the timestamp, so it'll be like, okay, you know, every single baked texture or asset inside of this thing is going to be changed, so we're not gonna. So every time you cook any of this crap, it's just not gonna work. Yeah, alright. I may just not want to. I may want to have this code, but I may not want to use this code. I may just, you know, solution's worse than the problem. Packages to save is an undeclared identifier. Yeah, that's true. Alright, Sanacron, have a good one. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Gotta convert from f-string to tchar. Well, that's just a dereference operation. So let's see, what is this? It's getting pissed about this. Save texture asset. Well, we'll try it and see how it works. Like Adam's Facebook post. He's got a picture of him like picking a mushroom, and he's like, "I'm gonna lick this, and I'll tell you guys what happens." And everybody's like, "Go to the hospital." It's like, "Don't do it, Adam. You got so much to live for." And yeah, basically today, we're just shaving yaks. If you're not familiar with that term, it's like, oh well, I can actually do some work here, except I gotta shave this yak first. Which is usually referred to as, I need to like do all this random crap that to a producer or somebody non-technical makes absolutely no sense, but is incredibly vital to actually do. Or is actually not vital and is a symptom of, well, you're not actually doing anything useful. So it's kind of both. Okay, so unknown, get folder for asset. Find package. It just fucking crashes if you do that? Oh my god, that is so stupid. Alright, let's just not worry about this too much. I think we'll just have it so you want to save the asset yourself, because you'll get prompted in the editor, at least. So I'm just going to remove this save function, and if we ever come across needing to actually do the save asset stuff, then we'll solve that problem, but I don't really feel like climbing this hill at the moment. So we're just going to remove that. Oh no, my Office Live 365 stuff has been canceled because it ran out on my 1-year subscription card. I haven't used Office in a long ass time. I think I'll just not renew that until I need it. So let's just make sure this all works real well, or works properly, that is. So we should be able to go here, construct our static height map, and then we'll close the editor, and we should be prompted to save our data. So let's save it. And let's load it back up and see if it's all where it should be. It's not where it should be. Why not? So let's see, this height map texture was not set, I guess? Well, we definitely set it. And if we close this, it's not prompting us. Let's see. Unreal not prompting for save after edit of object in C++. The solution was to make your ass stuff your wave it now. Okay. So if we explicitly save this stuff, so we're gonna save the level. So if this is a little clunky, I mean, I can just kind of see if it's going to be a problem and then come back and kind of fix it later. Kind of be like, alright, you know, let's make a little more complex system that's a little more idiot-proof. Because it's already like, you know, you got to actually go construct the height maps and all this other crap. And if you're already doing that, like, it's kind of like, well, you know, just don't worry